Hello, here comes another one with my project, my four-wheel drive Volvo style tubes chassis car with a V10 and turbo in the back. In this episode it's going to be a bit of the new turbos, but we're going to start with the engine mounts because I have put the engine inside here and I want to have it in the exact correct position. These are the original engine mounts and they are active, but even if you have these in the hard setting, sport setting, I think these are a bit too soft actually. So my plan is to make some billet solid engine mounts. I'm not sure if that is the best. Did cut out some aluminium here and I made a model here and the programs to mill it out here. Couple of operations, and I made this in a two-piece design. Maybe I could remove a little bit more weight out of this one, but I think this one will be good as a prototype. And I'm not sure if it's good to have solid engine mounts or not. I hope it do not give too much stress to the engine block or could maybe crack the block, but otherwise it's good for everything else, I think, to have it solid mounted. All like the drag racing cars have solid mounted engines, and yeah, Formula 1 cars is solid mounted to the chassis, so I think it's the way to go. And I hope it will not be too much vibrations into the car, but we'll see. A little bit of testing. You could also make it with some like polyurethane or something inside here as well, but yeah, this one will be the first test. You have the block inside here, and first we measure, and then some roughing with this 3-flute 16 millimeters from Sjöborgs. The last operation is done, and I made this into a two-piece design. It is actually because I did not have this big kind of stock raw material. So I made it two-piece and I think it will be good. It's threads in this lower one. So I just have a big bolt to bolt it together from the other side, and usually it is a bolt from that side as well. So that is good. Not perfect, but it will be all fine for the Volvo here. And maybe in the future I will maybe make something with polyurethane or something. And it's also possible to make some more drilling holes here to make it a little bit more lightweight. Almost hard to see, it is a two-piece design actually. It's not bolted together yet, just pushed together. So it's really good precision in this CNC machine, I would say. It's just me that needs to be a little bit better, but much better than this one I think it will be. I'm so happy to announce that TurboSmart is a part of this project. as a partner, and I will use their twin turbos, their wastegates, their blow-off valves. The turbos I will use, it is the 76, 75s, beautiful billet compressor wheels, and as you can see it's the mirror image one, so it will look really good, and also it will make the turbo system all symmetrical. The downside maybe is that if I need a spare one, I need both spare. If I had the same, could just needed to have one spare. I opted for the mirror ones to make especially the system very symmetrical with all the pipings. The wastegates I will use is these straight gates. Never used them before, but I have used the TurboSmart wastegate for many years, and they have been working flawlessly. Very good engineering, and it's made in Australia, as it says on here, and they have a big R&D department also there, so they do all of the investigation, and you can see some videos there. They're testing these ones and really put these to the test in some extreme heats and cycle them. Also some small filters here for the turbos. It is the exhaust housing AR96 with a V-band, so it will be pretty easy to make some adapters between the stock exhaust manifolds to the turbos there. Beautiful, nice things. TurboSmart have been doing accessories like wastegates, dump bulbs, other things for many years, but now they are doing turbos as well. They have been doing turbos for a couple of years, but not very long. Beautiful looking, and I think these are pretty lightweight also compared to some other turbos in the same size. So these are now 76 millimeters. Before on this car I had 64 millimeters, so it's quite some change. The turbos got stolen, so I needed new turbos, and also I wanted bigger turbos. Now they are here, and yeah, twin of these will produce decent amount of power, I hope. And this thing with the wastegate with the butterfly instead of the normal poppet style wastegate, it's pretty new, I would say, but it's not something unique. I have this wastegate is from a Formula 1 car. It is an Ferrari one, so this is the inlet from left-hand bank, and this is maybe right-hand bank for a V6 car, and this is the butterfly valve, so it's a big valve for both cylinder banks. I will have one wastegate on left-hand side and one on right-hand, and the actuator on this one, you can see it is a small hydraulic actuator, so very beautiful one there, and I have this vacuum style pressure style actuator I will use on this. So yeah, they use it in high-end racing like Formula 1, so why not have it here on the Volvo 240. Also, the positive thing about these ones is that I think you can have a very wide range of boost. You can have really low boost and then a really high boost compared to a normal poppet style wastegate. Also, I think it is a little bit more tricky maybe with the boost control. I heard that some have a little bit problem with precision of the boost, but the Motec that I use in the car has really good boost control. At least I have seen that one before with the other wastegate, so I hope it will be able to control these wastegates really good. So we'll see. It's a little bit test, another one unknown and new for the car, but yeah, I think it will be great. Here are some ports for speed sensor, compressor speed, that I will add some sensors for that one as well, so I can keep track of the turbo speed here. Blow-off valves, aluminium, really lightweight I would say, and with an tube there. Also with the turbos, all of the flanges is included, so got a lot of flanges to build up here on the wastegates as well. So thank you TurboSmart for your great products and for being a part of the project here. It will be beautiful.
Thank you so much, these companies, for helping me support in this project.
Some of the floor panels here is ready to go in. Some of the edges here is filled with epoxy instead of the foam, and it's very shiny and nice. The problem is that it was protective film on these ones, and the upside is actually this side, so it's the matte carbon fiber instead of the glossy one. So I think this is actually the back side of it, but yeah, and it's the same with this one as well. So the shiny piece will be down and no one will see it. So a bit of a mistake there, but the main thing is that it is lightweight and good panels there. Still the carbon fiber there, and maybe it's good. It's not that glossy so it will not be that slippery. So now put them inside the car here. To install the turbos, I was looking for some different locations here where I could install it, but I opt for installing them at the same location as I had my old turbos there and the wastegate under. Just started with a simple adapter here from the stock exhaust manifolds going back to the turbo. So I find the location. This adapter fits on great there. And the thing is to mount the turbo. The last turbos I had installed in this, this is for the exhaust usually on the Audi R8. Back up to the compressor housing of the turbo, but this one do not have any bolts here. It's just some clamps, V-bound clamps. So I'm thinking about, this is the oil return flange. It's both an fitting on there and some normal flange there. So I'm thinking about to mount these ones in the oil return line. I did not have an oil return flange, so I just make one here. Could just been ordering one laser cut or something, but I don't want to do this now and I do not want to wait. Oh. I'm actually using the engine hoist here to put the turbo on here and to hold it in position, because yeah, this is a flex tube and this adapter is just plastic 3D printed. So it works good, and actually I already done it here on the right hand side. So this is the finished bracket there. Not maybe the strongest in the world, but tying up together with exhaust, I think it will hold good and it will absolutely hold the weight there. Starting out with some end tanks here and also trying to do these ones in billet. I think the water ones, the smaller ones I will do. I do not have that big stock for the sides here, so I think I will do them in sheet metal. And by the way, this adapter that I made here in PLA, like plastic, for mocking this turbo adapter up, I actually ordered this one in 316 stainless steel, so this one will be 3D printed. Do you think it will hold up for that? I hope so. It will be interesting to see. Actually, the 3D printing is a little bit more accessible now, so we'll see if it works. I think it's actually finished printed and it's shipped. So in the next episode we can see this one. Many of you in the comments were worried about the installation of the oil tank, that it was into the chassis. And yeah, maybe you're right. But I don't think this beam is the most stressed one in the chassis. I think the lower one here and the upper ones will take the most loads from the rear of the chassis to the front. But also I added some rubber between these, so it can maybe move a little bit, but it's pretty solid there. And maybe I was thinking a bit too much about how it is in the airplanes, where in the wings aluminium, it's the fuel tanks in the wings and they flex quite some bit. So I was thinking it could flex a little bit, but we'll see. Now it is like this. I will test it, try it, and we'll see if it works or not. I will inspect often and see if I see any leaks or cracks. And if there is any problem, I will of course tell you on this channel about it. I will tell you about the problems. I see some other guys, and a lot in like racing, they are very secret when they find any problem and they don't want to show it. But I will show you all of the problems on this car. Also, you might have seen that I have some new rims, and yes, I have some new instead of the steelies I had before. It is 15 inch in the back, 12 inch wide and 18 in the front, and the design is similar to what it was on here. It's kind of the TE37 design of them. And these are the beadlock design. It's only beadlock on the outer side, so it's a single beadlock. And these are one of the kind. There's no other ones in the whole world. I was doing some investigation to buy some rims, and I asked some of the normal drag wheel companies in US, and I think it was hard for them to make it because I have the bolt pattern. It's 5112, so it's the AWD one, and most rims was not available in that one. Some could make the rear ones 15 inch, and some could make the front 18, for example, but I wanted to have the same design of them, and I made them all polished here, as you can see. The design of the rear ones, it's not so easy to see that it's the TE design, but with the polished, it's also looking a little bit like the Workmeisters I had on my Supra. So I really like this little bit of Japan style of them. But I found one company that makes rims for sports cars, different cars, drag cars, also for Lamborghinis and Audi R8s. And they could make it in exact these specifications. And then I asked them if they were made in US, but they told me they were not. But they could make them in US, but then they were more expensive, and the finish would maybe not be better, it would maybe be worse. So they say they made them overseas. So then I start looking overseas for manufacture of beadlock wheels. And I will not tell exactly where I got these from. I want to test them and see how they are working. And I'm not going to sell rims. There's many guys now that just order rims, tell them how they want to design, and put their name on it. So it's very easy actually to make some custom wheels. But it was a lot back and forth about the design, small details, but they have a good knowledge on how to make a rim from the get-go and what needed and not. First, I wanted to have the rear ones double beadlock. The front, I know because of the suspension, it's not possible to have the double beadlock. I tried for a long time to get this double beadlock to work in the rear suspension, but it was not possible. On a solid axle, it is possible. So hopefully it will not slip the tire on the rim. I will mark it up and keep a lookout on it. If it will, I will put some screws on the inside there. Actually did some marks for it not to slip, told them, but they forgot it on the rear ones, but they put it on the front ones. And I think they're looking really good ones. These ones fully polished, golden bolts, and it is some clear coat on them, so they will hold the polish good. So I will test this out. Hopefully they will work good, but I think so. These are the ones, steel ones that I had last year. These are only 10 inch wide, and I think they're actually more lightweight. In the front I had a steel 18 inch. The steel one I had in before was more than 13 kilos, so this is 11 kilos. So it's a little bit more lightweight actually, and still I think it's very thick here on the inside, so it could be possible to make it more lightweight if needed in the future. But overall a little bit more lightweight and wider as well, so it will be good. And maybe it would have been good to put like 15s in the front as well, but I want to have these bigger brakes for some time more here, so it will be these 18s in the front. So I think this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. Bye bye.